Casio makes legendary watches like the F91W and classic G-Shocks, but certain models get hyped beyond what they actually deliver. High Amazon ratings don't always tell the full story when influencer reviews, brand loyalty, and sponsored content skew perceptions. Some Casio watches carry premium prices that don't match their real-world performance or value compared to alternatives. Today, we're exposing the top 10 overrated Casio watches that Amazon reviewers love, but you shouldn't waste money on. Number 10. Casio Edifice EFR 539 75. The Casio Edifice EFR 539 gets praised for looking expensive, but it's just another quartz chronograph with nothing special under the hood. Amazon reviews call this a luxury watch for the price, when it's basically dressed-up plastic pretending to be premium. The mineral crystal scratches within weeks of desk wear, despite reviewers claiming durability that doesn't exist in reality. Water resistance to 100 meters sounds good, until you realize the pushers leak, and moisture gets inside from simple hand washing. 5-year battery life is standard quartz performance, not some amazing feature worth celebrating, like Amazon comments suggest endlessly. The tachymeter bezel serves zero practical purpose for 99% of buyers who'll never calculate speed using it properly. Casio Duro costs $55 and delivers actual 200-meter dive watch capability instead of this fake luxury chronograph aesthetic. The busy dial with multiple subdials creates visual clutter, making simple time reading unnecessarily difficult during quick glances. Skip this overpriced Edifice and get a G-Shock GA2100 for similar money with actual shock protection. Number 9. Casio G-Shock DW5600BB 99. The Casio G-Shock DW5600BB is just the classic square G-Shock, painted black selling for double the price of standard versions. Amazon hype about murdered-out stealth aesthetics doesn't justify paying extra for black paint on identical watch internals. The negative display looks cool in photos, but becomes incredibly difficult to read in low-light conditions, frustrating daily use. Same 200-meter water resistance and shock protection as the $50 DW5600E makes the premium completely unjustified for paint. 5 alarms and stopwatch functions are identical across all 5600 series watches, regardless of color scheme or pricing tiers. The all-black aesthetic shows every scratch and scuff mark, making it look worn out faster than two-tone versions. Standard DW5600E delivers identical functionality at half the cost, with better visibility and classic G-Shock look that ages better. The resin band and case attract dust and lint, constantly requiring frequent cleaning to maintain the stealth appearance. Buy the regular DW5600E and save $50 for features that matter rather than black paint markup. Number 8. Casio Wave Ceptor WVA M630 120. The Casio Wave Ceptor WVA M630 promises atomic timekeeping, but only works in specific regions, making it useless for most buyers. Amazon reviews don't mention that radio sync fails completely outside Japan, North America, UK, Germany, and China coverage areas. The analog-digital combination looks sophisticated, but creates unnecessarily complex interface requiring manual reading to understand all functions. Solar charging sounds impressive until you realize it needs direct sunlight, and office lighting barely maintains the charge adequately. Tough solar label misleads buyers expecting G-Shock durability when this lacks shock resistance entirely for active use. The stainless steel band feels cheap with hollow links that pinch skin and pull arm hair constantly during wear. World time for 31 cities seems useful, but accessing different zones requires button combinations nobody remembers without the manual. Better options include Citizen EcoDrive watches with superior solar technology and actual build quality at similar pricing. The 100-meter water resistance is standard for any decent watch, not a special feature worth highlighting constantly. Number 7. Casio Edifice EQB 1000 400. The Casio Edifice EQB 1000 costs $400 for Bluetooth smartphone connectivity that adds zero real value to daily watch use. Amazon reviewers hype the smart features, but it just syncs time and changes settings through an app nobody actually needs. The sapphire crystal is the only premium component, while everything else uses standard materials found on $50 Casio models. Smartphone connectivity drains the battery, requiring solar charging, that struggles to keep up with Bluetooth power consumption during regular use. The motorsport-inspired design looks busy and cluttered, rather than sophisticated, with too many dial elements competing for attention. Seiko Prospex or Citizen ProMaster deliver superior build quality, better movements, and actual tool watch capability at identical pricing. The tough solar charging barely maintains power, with Bluetooth enabled forcing users to disable connectivity, defeating the entire purpose. The smartphone app provides world time and alarm setting that the watch buttons handle faster without pulling out your phone. Skip this overpriced Bluetooth gimmick and buy a real watch that focuses on core functionality rather than unnecessary connectivity. Number 6. Casio ProTrek PRG 650 250. The Casio ProTrek PRG 650 markets itself as outdoor adventure tool, but the sensors are unreliable and features rarely work properly. Amazon reviews praise the triple sensor, but don't mention the compass requires frequent calibration and the altimeter drifts constantly. The tide graph and moon phase data sound useful for fishing, but most anglers just use smartphone apps with better accuracy. Solar charging struggles in forest environments where hikers actually use these watches, creating battery anxiety during multi-day trips. The 100-meter water resistance is inadequate for water sports, despite the outdoor watch marketing suggesting adventure capability. The resin construction feels cheap compared to G-Shock models, at similar pricing offering superior durability for demanding use. Better alternatives include Garmin Instinct at $300 with GPS navigation and reliable sensors that actually work when needed. The digital display washes out in bright sunlight, making sensor readings difficult to see during actual outdoor activities. The bulky 51mm case overwhelms smaller wrists, while the thick profile catches on jacket sleeves and backpack straps constantly. Number 5. Casio G-Shock Mudmaster GG-B100 380. The Casio G-Shock Mudmaster GG-B100 charges premium pricing for mud resistance that most buyers will never actually need or use. Amazon hype about ultimate toughness ignores that regular G-Shocks handle 99% of abuse without the mud-resistant gimmick markup. The Bluetooth smartphone connectivity adds $200 to the price for features that provide zero practical value during daily wear. The analog-digital display creates visual complexity, making simple time reading unnecessarily difficult compared to pure digital G-Shocks at fraction of cost. Mud resistance requires special button construction that makes them harder to press, defeating the purpose of quick access during activities. The massive 55mm case size is absurdly large, even for big wrists, creating unwieldy proportions that catch on everything constantly. Battery life suffers compared to non-Bluetooth G-Shocks, requiring more frequent solar charging to maintain adequate power throughout weeks. Standard G-Shock GA2100 at $90 delivers shock resistance and 200-meter water resistance, without unnecessary mud protection charging triple the price. The smartphone app duplicates watch functions accessible through buttons faster, without needing to pull out your phone constantly. Number 4. Casio G-Shock MTG B2000 $1,000. The Casio G-Shock MTG B2000 costs $1,000 for a G-Shock, which is absolutely insane when superior watches exist at that pricing. Amazon reviewers justify the cost through premium materials, but titanium and sapphire don't make a G-Shock worth luxury pricing. The Bluetooth and radio sync features are identical to models costing $300, making the premium purely for materials rather than functionality. Tough solar charging is standard across the G-Shock line, not some exclusive feature justifying quadruple pricing over basic models. The connected engine module links to smartphone apps that provide minimal utility beyond basic time sync and settings adjustment. Hamilton, Oris, or Longines deliver Swiss automatic movements and superior finishing at identical $1,000 pricing with actual heritage. The shock resistance is identical to $100 G-Shocks, making the premium entirely about cosmetics rather than improved performance capabilities. The complex analog-digital layout creates confusion during quick time checks, when simple displays work better for actual daily use. Skip this overpriced luxury G-Shock experiment and buy a real $1,000 watch from legitimate luxury brands instead. Number 3. Casio Oceanus, OCW T200S, $850. The Casio Oceanus OCW T200S tries competing with luxury watches but falls short despite the $850 asking price. Amazon praise for Swiss quality at Japanese prices misleads buyers when actual Swiss watches deliver superior finishing at similar costs. The titanium construction is the same material found in $400 Citizen watches, making the premium hard to justify rationally. Radio-controlled timekeeping only works in limited regions, leaving international travelers with expensive quartz watch that loses sync abroad. The sapphire crystal and Zaratsu-inspired polishing attempt Grand Seiko aesthetics, but lack the execution quality justifying luxury pricing tiers. Longines Hydro Conquest or Hamilton Khaki Aviation deliver Swiss automatic movements and brand prestige at identical pricing with better value. The thin profile appeals aesthetically, but compromises water resistance to only 100 meters, limiting versatility for active lifestyles. The Bluetooth connectivity to smartphone feels tacked on, providing minimal functionality beyond what the watch buttons already handle. Better alternatives exist at every price point, making this awkward middle ground between affordable Casio and legitimate luxury watches. Number 2. Casio G-Shock Gravitymaster GPW 2000, $850. The Casio G-Shock Gravitymaster GPW 2000 costs $850 for GPS timekeeping that your smartphone already provides for free. Amazon aviation enthusiasts praise the multiple sensors, but pilots use actual avionics rather than wristwatch instruments for real navigation. The GPS sync drains battery rapidly, despite solar charging requiring constant sunlight exposure to maintain adequate power levels. The busy analog display with multiple subdials creates information overload, making simple time reading frustratingly difficult during quick glances. Carbon fiber bezel and sapphire crystal add premium materials, but don't justify the massive price jump over standard G-Shocks. Garmin aviation watches deliver superior GPS functionality, actual navigation features, and better battery life at similar pricing points. The 50mm case size is enormous even by G-Shock standards, creating unwieldy proportions that catch on jacket sleeves constantly. The aviation theme appeals to enthusiasts, but actual pilots prefer dedicated aviation watches from Breitling, IWC, or Garmin with real utility. Skip this overpriced GPS G-Shock and buy either a cheap G-Shock or a real pilot's watch instead of this awkward hybrid. Number 1. Casio G-Shock MRG B5000, $4,000. Taking the top spot as the most overrated Casio is the G-Shock MRG B5000, costing $4,000 for a digital G-Shock, which is completely absurd. Amazon collectors justify this through ultimate G-Shock marketing, but it's still just a digital watch with basic functionality at luxury pricing. The titanium construction and diamond-like carbon coating are premium materials that don't change the fact it's a G-Shock digitally displaying time. Bluetooth, GPS, and radio sync are features found on $200 G-Shocks, making the premium entirely about materials rather than capabilities. The shock resistance is identical to $50 G-Shocks, proving expensive materials don't improve core G-Shock functionality whatsoever during use. Rolex, Omega, or Grand Seiko at $4,000 deliver actual luxury watchmaking with mechanical movements and genuine prestige worth the investment. The limited production creates artificial scarcity marketing hype rather than actual collectability that maintains value like real luxury watches. The negative display remains difficult to read, regardless of premium materials used in construction, making daily use frustrating for quick time checks.